Hey, it's been a while. Last year took a life of its own. Between my basement that I used filming these videos flooding for a second time, me and my girlfriend moving to a new place, while adopting two very adorable cats, all while this pandemic was going on, was a bit much for me to combine with this whole YouTube thing. But starting with this video, that's going to change. Hey, what is up guys? My name is Justin and welcome back to another video. So guess what? I got something new. So ViewSonic recently sent me this, the ViewSonic M2e to review. Now, this is their latest smart LED portable projector that offers a brightness of 400 ANSI lumens, a Full HD image quality, speakers by Harman Kardon, has some Wi-Fi capabilities and is sorta smart. So it looks like the ViewSonic M2 which released last year. Now it's basically the same, it has the same design, but it's a little smaller and lighter as it only weighs 1 kilogram and has a different color scheme. But if I'm totally honest, I really dig that M2 color scheme. I'm just a little bit disappointed that it didn't bring it over to this model. It also boasts the same built-in kickstand as the ViewSonic M2, but it's a little hard to open. It also offers a way for you to mount it on a tripod or M4 screw mounts in order if you want to hang it on the ceiling, but let's be honest here. Why would you do that? It's a portable projector and it doesn't come with a carrying case for nothing. Now on the back of the projector you'll find the usual ports like an HDMI port, but also a headphone jack, a USB 2.0 port and a micro SD card slot. Now that card slot comes in very handy if you want to actually use it as a portable device on the go and have some movies installed on a micro SD card. But then there's the USB-C port, and that USB-C port is the real MVP of this device. So while the M2e is considered a portable device, it lacks a built-in battery. Now, that's crazy, I know, but it features a way around that through the USB-C port. Now that port offers USB-C PD, so as long as you have a power bank available with a USB-C PD 65 watt output, you can actually use it on the go without needing to plug it into a power outlet. The only downside here is that you're limited to 50% brightness at full brightness level. So aside from offering data and power in, you can also use it for video. Simply plug in your laptop or compatible phone via USB and you're good to go. And that's nothing really special until you realize you can actually straight up plug in your Nintendo Switch. So you won't ever need a dock anymore. Just connect your Switch via USB-C to the M2e and you're good to go. You won't have to take your dock off your TV cabinet and plug it into the M2e. It's not necessary. And that is just amazing in my opinion. So you can just plug in your Nintendo Switch to the device and you're good to play everywhere you go, but that's only partially true, isn't it? So for this video, I tried finding a way to connect both the Nintendo Switch as well as a USB-C power bank to my M2e in order to create a truly portable setup. But I couldn't find a hub that offered both USB-C PD as well as an HDMI alt mode via two separate USB-C ports in order to make this thing happen. And yeah, so if any of you know of a way to get that working, please let me know in the comments down below. Anyway, back to gaming. While it's possible to connect your Nintendo Switch or your PC for that matter to the M2e, should you? Well, yeah, for more casual use. So I measured an input lag of 60 milliseconds in game mode without any keystone or corner correction applied. And while that is more than enough to comfortably play speedrun levels in Super Mario Maker 2, more twitchy shooters like Apex Legends will feel a little bit more sluggish and unresponsive if you're more accustomed to lower latencies. Now on to placement. The M2e features a throw ratio of 1.21, which basically means if you want to project 1 meter wide, I'm sorry, all of those of you who don't use the metric system, you need to place the projector 1.21 meters away from the screen. Now, if you want to project 100 inch, because let's face it, that sounds way better than 2.22 meters, you actually have to place the projector 2.68 meters away from the screen. So the distance needs to be 2.68 meters. And to help with placement, the M2e also has a vertical automatic keystone correction. So if you're gonna use the built-in kickstand, it's actually gonna automatically correct the image to get back to that original 16:9 ratio. It also has horizontal and 4-corner correction, but that's only manual. So one thing that I really don't like about a lot of these portable projectors is that you have to focus the image by using this focus ring, but more often than not, it really doesn't work well. So if you're focusing, you often miss that point that's just in focus and you move back and it's still not in focus and you move forward. And that just keeps going for a while until you're fed up with it and you're just leaving it there. But luckily, this M2e has a pretty amazing autofocusing feature. So not only is it lightning fast, it almost never misses the spot. Almost never, because behind me I have these textured walls, and it had some issues with that, because more often than not it would miss focusing. But I haven't had that issue with a projection screen or with a blank wall without all these textures going on. Luckily, it has a remote that allows you to quickly change the focus if needed. So yeah, pretty happy with that. So while the M2e is considered a portable device due to its size and weight, it lacks the internal battery in order to be fully portable. That basically makes it portable with an asterisk. But it's also smart with an asterisk. While this device is being powered by Android with a custom UI on top of it, the options to actually use it the same way as you would your smart TV are fairly limited. So it does do the usual things you would expect from a projector like this pretty well. For example, you can cast your phone to the device and mirror your phone via that way, and that works flawless. But once you want to install some apps, you'll notice that it lacks Android TV's App Store. Instead, you have to make do with the Aptoide TV Store. And if you've seen my last video, you just know I'm not the biggest fan. So the amount of apps available on the Aptoide TV Store are fairly limited. But let's be honest here, that doesn't really matter, as most of us will probably look for apps like Prime Video, Netflix, Disney+, or any other subscription-based service. And yeah, you'll find them there. That's the good news. You can find verified apps in the Aptoide TV Store for Prime Video and for Netflix. And verified, by the way, is when an app's source has been verified and that the app itself hasn't been altered. So that's the good news. The bad news is that all of these apps only support 480p, which is not even HD quality yet. That's SD quality. And while that doesn't really matter for ViewSonic's lower tier projectors that only have a 480p resolution, for a projector like the M2e, which has a full HD chip, that lack of on-device apps that support the same resolution as the projector itself is a little bit disappointing. There is, however, one app that works with the highest resolution available to your device, and that is YouTube Smart TV. So if you watch YouTube, then you'll be happy to hear that that just works flawlessly in the highest resolution. So like a lot of Bluetooth-enabled smart projectors, the M2e also has a Bluetooth audio mode, so you can just use the speakers that are built into the ViewSonic M2e as a Bluetooth speaker for your phone, for example, and that actually works pretty well. I would probably never actually use it like that, but hey, if you have the device and you also want a Bluetooth speaker, you have that option. And while Bluetooth isn't really that exciting of a feature, what is exciting to me is that this one offers Bluetooth out. So if you want to connect your headphones, if they're Bluetooth enabled, to the M2e, you can do that. You can create your own personal multimedia entertainment bubble. But if you don't want to do that, you can always use the two 3-watt built-in speakers by Harman Kardon. And while they're not the best, obviously, I mean, it's a small package, they sound pretty great for that package. They sound better than most entry-level TVs, I'd argue. Now, arguably the most important part of this review, image quality. Now, I used my portable screen, which is 177 centimeters wide or 80-inch diagonally in this darkened room, and I gotta say, it looked great. The projected image came across lively, as the size of my screen sits around the sweet spot for the amounts of lumens this projector outputs for darkened rooms. But you can go even beyond 100 inch if you don't mind sacrificing a little bit of image fidelity. In a bright living room situation, however, the image holds up as well as you'd expect. So you're not gonna overpower the sun with this device, but depending on how clouded it is, you can actually project a 65-inch image and make it watchable. It's not gonna look great, but you can make it watchable. And in other situations, you might even struggle with a 32-inch screen. So remember that, you're not gonna overpower the sun. Now, ViewSonic claims the M2e covers 125% of the Rec. 709 color spectrum, which is basically the broadcast standard for HD video. And while I lack the equipment to measure it, I believe them. Images look great. They aren't oversaturated, they just look lively and natural, at least in cinema mode, because the other modes prefer to add more green or blue to the image to make it seem brighter, but in cinema mode, it looks amazing. And then there's contrast, and I know lots of people are being really stuck up on the numbers, but I'd advise you not to do that. I mean, there's no standardized method of measuring contrast that most of these companies use, because there's ANSI contrast, but no one uses it. And most of the times, the numbers that you see on the data sheets are actually the dynamic contrast values, and it's not representative of what you'd get in real life. Now, having said that, I didn't look what this model had in contrast, but I can say this, it's not amazing, but given that this is a portable projector, it actually is pretty good. You see, portable projectors like this one have a smaller image chip compared to those in dedicated hang it on your ceiling type of home cinema projectors. So while both devices can be in full HD, the projected image on the larger image chip looks sharper, more crisp, and in case of many DLP projectors like this one, has a better contrast. But you cannot put that in a package as small as this one, so compromises. That's all there is to know about this projector. Now, there are a couple of things that I haven't talked about yet, and one is the fan noise. So when I first started using this device, I noticed that the fans were spinning up pretty loud. In fact, they were so loud that I had to put the device into eco mode to make it even bearable. And I know that just shouldn't be the case. And the second thing, and this was only when I was casting from my phone, YouTube, to the M2e, is that audio and video could desync for up to 15 seconds. So it was also very jarring to watch. Now, I contacted ViewSonic on this, and they told me that the problems were known to them and that they were working on a fix. There isn't a fix yet as of taping this video, but they're working on it, so that gives me hope that these issues will be resolved in the future. So, all in all, would I recommend the ViewSonic M2e? Well, if you're looking for a projector with great image quality, great audio quality, and don't mind the lack of a more fleshed out internal smart TV platform since you have a Chromecast laying around, and you don't mind the lack of an internal battery, and really appreciate that USB-C port that allows you to connect a Nintendo Switch directly to this projector, then yeah, I could recommend the ViewSonic M2e. But here's the asterisk. So the M2 I talked about, the M2e's bigger brother, is only a little bit more expensive, a little bit heavier also a little bit bigger, but otherwise has 100 ANSI lumens more, features a larger image sensor, so it should result in better image quality, although, mind you, still not the same resolution or image quality as a dedicated entry-level home cinema full HD device. That's a whole mouthful. But yeah, you might want to look into the M2 instead. Of course, unless you really appreciate having everything that device has to offer in a smaller package that's roughly 72% the size of the M2, and that's lighter, and you want to use it for gaming because this one has a lower input lag. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you're new here and want to see more of this, whatever this ends up becoming, hit that subscribe button to not miss a thing. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. A lot of things went wrong today. I forgot to charge my batteries, I forgot to wipe my SD card, so halfway this video I had to redo a couple of lines all over again because I forgot to wipe the SD card, which was way too small, so yeah, that's not gonna happen the next time. Just plug it in here. You're good to plug it in here.